Hello, this is Kylie J.N.S. and happy Thursday, or shall I say 888. And so I really want to cover the topic of the 888 Lion Gates portal. It is so interesting, particularly this year, 2024. So I just want to do a breakdown on exactly what is the Lion Gates portal, the significance of eight, and then also the significance of the Lion Gates portal on this particular day and year. And so we're going to start off just a little more academic, and then we'll get into more of the qualitative aspect of what it means for you personally and like things you can do on this day or around this time, because it is more so of a period more so than just one day. And so the Lion Gates portal, it started on July 28th and it will last through August 12th. Some people say it started July 25th. And so, depending on how sensitive you are or your awareness, you may have started this already or took observance of this portal on July 25th. But nonetheless, the Lionsgate portal is pretty much when Sirius and Orion align in the zodiac of Leo, and particularly the Orion belt. And so Sirius and Orion, it aligns with our sun, and it also aligns in Leo, unlocking this Lion Gates portal. And so Sirius is also associated with the planet Jupiter. And so obviously today is Thursday. Thursday is also associated with Jupiter. And so this is also a day where Sirius looks big to us in terms of like it's already 26 times bigger than the sun, but it looks like really bright. Like we're pretty much people are able to see the star Sirius, and it looks more brighter than on any other day, pretty much. Also, it aligns with Giza, the Giza pyramids, and so that's also something that people want to take into account in terms of like biogeometry and energy vortex. So I would say today is also a day like if you're in Egypt, you could probably, or near the Giza pyramids, you could probably feel that energy because it's been set up in such a way where it directly aligns with the Orion belt and Sirius, particularly on this day. And so, yes, Sirius is associated with Jupiter. Now, Jupiter is one of the biggest planets that we have, and Jupiter is associated with manifestation and money, indulgence, self-expression, those type of things. But also, when we talk about like the number eight becomes significant because it's associated with the planet Saturn. And so eight, in terms of the number, obviously, if you turn on its side, you have the infinity symbol. But eight is associated with uh, management, authoritative management, as well as manifestation, abundance. It's leadership. Eight is also associated like with leadership and whatnot. And so people use this energy on this day in terms of the Lion Gates portal to think of like do a variety of things, whether that be to work on manifestation, to work on this self-reflection, to work on recommitting to certain projects or whatever that they may think of. Now, what's interesting is that we also have a Mercury retrograde at this time. And so when we combine the 888 energy with the Mercury in retrograde, and we have this whole thing of where we are it's a reflective period in terms of rethinking commitments, um, slowing down, but also having compassion and grace for ourselves. So yes, people like to manifest on this day and think of their vision boards or whatever they're going to do, and that's all fine and whatnot. But this is also time to step into power, as well as honoring ourselves, having more self-compassion, honoring past versions of ourselves, and just reflecting like, okay, and acknowledging certain things that we could have done wrong. So in terms of like making like a roadmap for ourselves, and when we think of the new commitments or the new manifestations that we want to do on this day, with that Mercury in retrograde energy, we can start to also be reflexive in terms of like, well, what were some things that I could have done differently, or what are some things where if I know, hindsight is 2020, if I know these things when I go into my next stage or my next phase of what I want to do and where I want to be, what are some things that I can objectively do that are in my control? That is also another approach that I would advise to take, only because it's the Mercury in retrograde. So you're going to see a lot of things coming up from your past, anyways. Some people literally have people coming from their past back into their life, like this whole week or since July 25th. Old stuff has been coming up, or they've been forced to reconcile certain cognitive dissonances, or having to face speak maybe even stuff from the past they were running from. And so that's just something that compounds to me. Like 888 is not necessarily um, known for like more of the past reflection stuff. That's more of Saturn. But then again, we have eight being associated with Saturn. So Saturn is more of that karmic reflection aspect. And I would say with Mercury in retrograde, it probably would be wise to come up with mind maps of not just our goals and manifestations, but actual steps that we want to take, as well as landmine mental mines that we want to avoid, and that would require some reflexivity on past mistakes, and making sure that um, we're approaching it in a very methodical manner in terms of our manifestation, our intentions, the way in which we take our actions, the way in the way in which we do our affirmations. All of those things, I would say, um, should be added into that 888 energy. Now, another thing, normally it's like 88, but like this year's 2024, obviously, if you do the numerology on 2024, that adds up to an eight. And so that's how we have the triple eights, or some people say it's an angel number. I don't really get into like the angel number stuff. I think it's cool, but as far as 888, we do know that that energy is compounded. I mean, it's three eights, and so when we think about um, what it means for this particular portal, we are reflecting on ego, we're recentering the self, and we are encountering our shadow self in terms of making reading ourselves like any sort of shame, any sort of low vibrational frequencies in terms of like guilt, fear, shame, all of those things that hinder or slow us down, getting away from people that slow us down, people that we know don't really even care about us, those type of things, or even the approach and mindset around this time. This is a very powerful time. But if you know that you're a person that like still deals with wanting validation from someone, or wanting an approval, or still putting value on external things and thinking that that adds to your self-worth, that's something that you want to reflect on, because that energy slows you down in terms of getting to the next level. And I'm speaking obviously from experience. I'm not trying to talk at nobody. I'm just saying from my own, even from my own self, I've really, really understand like the power of autonomy and reflexivity in my own life, and past mistakes that I've made, and also uh, building up my own confidence and standing on my own in the face of adversity, even in the face of ridicule, and and so it is what it is. But yes, this Lion Gates portal is a beautiful time for everyone, I would say, because um, we're dealing with that Leo energy. That's a lot of fire. That's the confidence, and yeah, Leo's known for like pride and whatnot, and but it's a pride that's authentic. It's a self expression that's authentic, and so that is also what's going to hit us. And then we got that Saturn energy that's also extremely big on authenticity right now, or authentic resonance. And one that is requiring us to recenter ourselves, check our egos, and so on top of like the fuzzy stuff of 888, oh, it's some money. Honestly, I ain't gonna hold you. Every time I see 88, I see 888 a lot. My life path is eight. I'm an Aquarius. My life path is literally 8. I'm born January 22nd. I'm an Aquarius, so I got that a whole big bunch of Saturn energy in the life path 8. So when I say I see seeing 888 all the time, even throughout the year for my whole life, it's not even funny. But I do say this: every time you see 888, just know that some money gonna be coming on the way. It never fails, and I think that's what people like. It's like, oh, eight. People love the number 8. People change their name to mean 8. People try to switch up things in their own numerology and their own gematria to get more eights. This has happened, especially like people like in corporations or like CEOs. They have literally, some of them will change certain names just to make sure that they get some eights, because that helps them manifest more in terms of the energy that they want to work with, which is 8 is known for the finances, big money, management, leadership. The bad side of 8 though is unbridled ego, arrogance, uh, too concerned with the materialism. And to be honest, those who are like say a life path 8, uh, we've come in with some karma, and we're on a path where though if we do the work and we learn our lessons, it can turn out to be such great blessings for us. But we usually come in with some rough childhoods. 8 people have a lot of um, rough childhoods, and sometimes our blessings come late. A lot of the 8 people may be some late bloomers, but when the money comes, it comes. Or when the doors are ready to be open, they'll be open, and that just means that you have more responsibility in terms of learning your life lessons while you're here, and honoring the soul mission that you agreed to, whatever that may be. And so, you may not, you may have a heavier road, but a more rewarding, road if you stick through it, for those that had that life path 8. And so I would say as far as the cosmic energies, yes, right today they are aligned. Say if you are just one of those people that's like, well, I'm going to do some money ritual, or I'm focusing on my business today. I'm going to focus on doing my advertising. We're going to launch a new product or whatever. This obviously would be the energy that can catapult you into that. Obviously, but for those of us that are more thinking of, well, how do we do this in a holistic way in terms of okay, not just setting an intention, or not just, as we say, manifesting, but but really doing the gutter deep work, so when we arrive to that journey, we truly enjoy it. See, like a lot of times, like you could work on, you'll set an intention, you have this visualization, you have this affirmation, and you already put it in a computer mainframe of what will eventually happen at some point in time, in space and time. You just have to reduce the time lag. However, the internal stuff may not be all together. So maybe that could be not feeling fully, not feeling gratitude, or um, not not even wanting to take some of the steps to get to that point. And so then when you finally arrived, you kind of be like, this is not what I thought of, or I've got what I wanted, but this is not what I thought it would be, or I'm not fully enjoying it like I thought. And it's because of thinking that that's the destination. And it's because of not honoring the whole process of the journey in a form of gratitude and reflexivity, being reflective, being introspective on constant improvement of self, for your own highest good, for your own, on your own standard, on your own merit. And so that's another thing, um, that we may want to think of. Okay, and so again, when we also talk about the number 8 associated with planet Saturn, that governs structure and discipline. Okay, and it is a planet of limitations, but the limitations are there so that you don't uh, get into something that you can't handle, or that you're put in a position that you can't handle, then you end up blowing up the whole spot. So that's why the limitations are there. Is not meant to be restrictive in a sense of over your free will, but it is to teach individual awareness units, or individual souls rather, structure and discipline, And because if you're going to deal with, say, like a Jupiter, this is where we have the Sirius energy. That's more of the indulgence, Jupiter. If I could think of the Jupiter energy, maybe I'm thinking of the Buddha monk from the ninth century. Remember, the people confuse him with the other Buddha, but there was a Buddha who was a ninth century monk that used to be like really jolly and fat and walk around giving candy to kids. That's kind of like the Jupiter energy. And he was known for just being so prosperous. And like even to this day, people, a lot of the Asians, they'll have their Buddha, the ninth century monk, all in their businesses because he's associated with prosperity. But that's kind of like that Jupiter energy. Or when you think of like the Jupiter frequency, it's one of grandiose, big, indulgent energy. Is prone to also be more of on the it's not luxury because that's more of Venus, but it's definitely a different energy from Saturn. That's for sure. It's a lot more lighter, I would say, even though Jupiter is one of the big dogs. I would say it's a lot lighter, of at least from my experience. But yes, when we talk about like Saturn, and we the governance of structure and discipline, we know that we're learning those type of things because infinity is forever. Like we have to infinity. That's why eight is the infinity number symbol. And so you're going to learn a variety of resonances and concepts, and even qualitative states. And so Saturn is one of those ones that is a very karmic planet where you're going to learn some heavy life lessons, and as well as transformation and balancing and understanding gratitude. But I do have to say, um, another aspect of that number eight is to live and to understand that everything's in a constant state of ebb and flow. Nothing is stagnant. Nothing is stagnant. The only thing you can be sure of in life is change. And so you don't want to get attached to the ebbs and flows of certain emotions, because just like the woman fortune, one moment you're up, then one moment you're down, one moment you're up, and then you think it's the end of the world, and so it's a constant a mind maze, or mental game with, as far as psychologically, um, on this planet, because I mean, planet Earth is one of the only planets that where you can experience so much different resonances, so many different frequencies: happy, sad, anger, passion, compassion, sympathy, apathy, depression, fear, happiness, joy. It's all these different nuances, and that doesn't exist throughout certain places of the universe. Believe it or not, it just doesn't. And so Saturn, it regulates a lot of that, all these different emotions. That's why it's like the structure part of it is very important, and also acknowledging the constant flow of that, of rhythm, of new beginnings and endings, and approaching that in an emotionally healthy manner where you're not attached to the super highs of life, the super lows of life, but you're observing them and appreciating them. And you're still feeling. It's not like you're numb or anything, but you understand that it helps you, especially during those times where you feel down and out, when you're at your worst, when you're really at your worst, not being attached to that, and knowing for a 100% fact that those moments don't last, where they say trouble don't last always, weeping endures for a night, but joy cometh in the morning. That's real shit. Like that's like something. I know it's like a song and we just sing it or whatever, but that's like one of the heaviest, one of the most powerful teachings, if you ask me. Because I talk to a lot of people, and with some of my clients, when they get their readings, and the way some of the way they talk, it's like they you would think like life is just, oh my gosh, everything's just, it's the end of the world. And you know, I just want to tell them it's never the end. It's always a way up. It is always a way up. There's you can only, especially when you at your work, you can only go up from there. And so that's important. And Saturn always reminds us of that. And also the number 8 is about taking action and dedication, hard work, all of those things needed in order to grow. And so for this Lionsgate portal, though honestly it's easier to get whatever you want to get done at this time, uh, action would be key, but you can, how would I say this? Doing the work is obviously important, and that's what Saturn is about. That is what 8 is about. But this time, is kind of like a skate. Like you get to kind of uh, skate on whatever it is. By that, I mean, it's just a acceleration. It's like a faster acceleration. It's kind of like being on, you know, how you have the escalator and you still, sometimes you see people that some people want to stand on that escalator and the escalator is just going to go up, and then some people are still going to walk up the stairs still while the escalator is going up. So even though the escalator is propelling them up, they're still doing the work of moving their legs and walking up the escalator. And believe it or not, that's the energy of the Lion Gate portal. The person gets up there quicker. So now you have some people that may not be aware of this whole idea of, oh, let me manifest this, let me set this intention, let me surrender to this energy, and they'll just sit their ass, on them escalators, stand on that escalator and let it go up for them, and it's slower and and they'll get there eventually. But that's more of the surrender aspect of that energy. But that's what it's like. That's the best example of how I would like to explain like how this Lion Gates portal is. It's like, yeah, you still have to do the work, but there is an escalator. There is an energy that will propel you quicker on that escalator up towards the destination faster at this time. And so that is something also that would be good to know. Okay, so we have July 28th to August 12th. So even if you can't do anything today, or you don't, you need some more time or whatever, you still have to August 12th in terms of this alignment of Sirius and Orion in the zodiac of Leo. And so another aspect of the I really want to speak about them Giza pyramids, because when we think about like biogeometry, maybe I should pull up this. I would like to pull up this book because I actually want to show you how like this book was by an architect. He's an architect, but he has like a PhD in like architecture, and I want to say um, it may be something else that he has a PhD in. But I know that he does architecture and biogeometry, meaning how the he takes into account the energy grids, the alignments of the Earth, energy vortexes, certain spaces on this planet, certain water crossings underground, as well as the constellations in the sky, obviously. And so he was talking about. Uh, his name is Dr. Ibrahim Karim, Back to the Future of Mankind Biogeometry. He was talking about how the ancient Cometians, how they actually would design all of their architecture around like certain uh, uh, constellations, certain. And so Orion and Sirius is obviously one of them. And actually, would show you this. So Back to the Future. I'm gonna make sure my screen is there. Oh, okay, here we go. So as you can see, like this is the Giza pyramids. Actually, it may not be Giza. This is Khufu pyramid shaft emanating BG3. Okay, so this may be the Khufu. I thought this was Giza. I thought it said Giza on here. Okay, but anyways, he's talking about like ancient architects and how they would develop, in advanced astronomical sciences and mathematics, and they would particularly use like virtual cosmic ley lines, as the ley lines on the Earth as well as in the sky. And so, as you can see, like even with this pyramid, and it's aligned with Orion and Sirius. And so when we talk about the Lionsgate portal, like in terms of how serious this stuff is, it is very it is very well studied. It's not anything new. It goes back thousands and thousands of years. Okay, and another thing I want to talk to you about, like see, look at this. Like this is what we're talking about. These are all energy grid spots that naturally occurs on planet Earth. Okay, and so this is the way that the Giza pyramids are aligned. They are aligned with Earth energy grids. That this radiates negative green energy that can be the horizontal electric energy, the horizontal energy, which is magnetic, or the vertical energy, which is electrical. And this is what you call negative green energy that comes from the sun. And so um, these pyramids are aligned with that, as well as with the Orion and Sirius constellation, as well as with the actual power spots that are on the ground. And so this is heavy uh, building. This is heavy master building, pretty much, or heavy carpentry. And we see the Hartman grid zones on there. We see the Curry energy grids, Binker. Obviously, the Egyptians didn't call this stuff. This is what Westerners named it because they discovered these spots too. And we do the same thing in America. Like, I mean, you look at Washington D.C., any major government building, the White House, it's all aligned the same way. Just so you know, like it's aligned across constellations and whatnot. I don't want to get too far off the topic of 888, but I just wanted to show you that now, in 2024, 888 is promoted as like, oh, this cool Lion Gate portal where it's time to manifest and it's easier to get some money or whatever. I just wanted to get a little more serious than that. I don't think people just were that reductive, but I did read some articles that were that reductive, unfortunately. But I just wanted to explain, like when we talk about like this Lion Gate portal and Orion in Sirius alignment, it is something that is still occurring today. And so Sirius and Orion is aligned right now with our sun, and it makes Sirius appears 26 times more brighter. Like we're able to see it more. And so knowing that information and knowing that it's literally aligned with the Giza pyramids right now, this is how they designed the Giza pyramids around the Lionsgate portal. And so I thought it was cool to show this book because this book is about biogeometry by this architect, Dr. Ibrahim Karim, and it's some heavy stuff in here. It's heavy. And now this was the original pyramids. This is how it started off. Pretty much all you need is a dome and an underground water crossing. This underground water crossing is what creates a vortex. So you see prehistoric dome, and this is the basis of a pyramid. This right here. This is your basis of your pyramid. You need a dome, because believe it or not, this underground crossings with this dome on top, that is the simple energy vortex creation. Now it gets more sophisticated with the mounds. That's a lot of mounds are found in North America, by the way. That is, people say that a mound is not a pyramid. A mound is a pyramid technically. If it has a dome, then it may not be the triangular pyramid, but it's still a pyramid. Then you have the artificial mounds. Okay, and then obviously the Great Pyramids, that is the last phase of the building. That's where it's been what is it, perfected in terms of the energy, locking in energy grids, locking in electromagnetic energy from not just the earth but also the sky, connecting it. But you need that underground water crossing and you need that doming. So that's the basics of that. And so, like, say if you really wanted to actually do some biogeometry, like with copper, or say this would be a good day to do it, obviously. And there are many people, they're probably not talking about it. There are many people that got, that you could make your own dome inside of your home. People are connecting certain coppers and calcites all around their house or whatever to direct certain energy fields. People can do this at home. You don't have to be an architect or something. I mean, I would say study it, or maybe even talk to a professional about biogeometry and whatnot. But if say somebody wanted to take it on a high level in terms of this Lion Gates portal energy and have all types of energy redirected to them, yeah, you can actually do that individually. You can actually do that individually if you know the basis of just forming a pyramid. It doesn't have to be, it could be a miniature pyramid, the one that you just sit up on your damn desk. Seriously, with the right equipment, certain limestone. Obviously, you can even you don't even have to deal with the pyramids. You can even use certain scepters, certain staffs, certain pendulums, dowsing equipments, copper. Like even this sample of the ancient Egyptian scepters. Thy rod and thy staff they comfort me. The rod and thy flail. These are awesome. These are all very powerful symbols, but these are made with certain materials that also direct energy qualities, and they were very much aware of this. This is stuff that now is kind of like, that's kind of quasi, that's kind of pseudo. It ain't pseudo at all. Them tell that to that damn Giza pyramid, being an electromagnetic generator, being an electric generator that can harness energy from Orion and Sirius, which is the Lion Gate portal today. That's what exactly what the Lion Gate portal was there for, is um, the Lion Gate portal is there for them Giza pyramids. The Giza pyramids were created rather for the Lion Gate portal because they understood that. So it's not like something that's so pseudo. This is very much a studied science, as far as like negative green energy, how to measure it. You can actually measure these things, and so I really enjoy this book. If you guys are interested, once again, it's called Back to the Future for Mankind, Biogeometry. And again, I wanted to talk about Sirius and Orion, and with these Giza pyramids, just to give you an example of like how serious like this energy is. Like they were working with this stuff for thousands and thousands of years. And so there we go. Sirius is highly visible in the northern hemisphere at this time, but particularly like I would say more so in the winter. But like say if you're over like in Africa, you probably see it really brightly. And like I said, Sirius is 26 times bigger than the sun, and so today it will look more brighter. And then people use the belt of Orion as a pointer. And so yeah, very interesting stuff. I also want to talk a little bit more about Orion. Yeah, let me see if I can. Yeah, so Orion, that's also one of the brightest stars in the sky as well. And there's different. I won't say there. Orion is. I don't want to say that. Is that a constellation? It's a celestial equator. I would say. That's how I would describe it, because you have the Regal, you have Alpha Arenas, so I don't think it's just like one particular star. It's a constellation, Orion constellation. Yeah, okay. I wanted to make sure I had to look it up real quick. Yeah, as I remember, it is a constellation. And you have the Orion Nebula as well. Yep, so it's all in alignment with our sun today and Leo season. That what's create this portal. And so you guys be careful, because again, like with some of this Mercury retrograde stuff, honestly, I have to say Lion Gates portal have historically kicked my ass. I'm getting better on how to deal with the energy was just too much for me to handle. um, but I have a sense of just being more aware of what is actually going on. I have to say it's it's marginally better this year, but I'm telling you, like Lion Gates portals, it's like it's like sometimes you could feel a alternate parallel universe approaching or something, or you could just see that you could feel the algorithms of everyone doing rituals and shit. And so sometimes that people will use this time to try to tag people. I have to say I don't engage in that type of stuff, but like say for those who practice like the dark arts on people that want to get back at. Sometimes they do use this portal to do that. I have heard of that before, of people doing that. But again, I don't think people should even be. I think people should be focused on themselves around this time. But Leos. Mm-mm-mm. And you know, you Leos, y'all have a lot of passion and a lot of confidence and ambition. So if you are a Leo, happy Leo season to you. But yes, there's a lot going on with the Mercury retrograde. We got Leo, we got Saturn, and as far as the eight, and then we got Sirius, which kind of the Sirius is associated with Jupiter. So it's some really heavy energies. This also is like say for people who wanted that breakthrough, that needed their breakthrough. This is also a good time for you to work on any sort of healing, because I know everything is about manifestation and abundance. Yes. And it's Thursday, and it's a waxing moon. The moon is in the waxing phase, and so you can get a lot of shit done if you want to, on more of the materialistic level. But I will also say that it is a powerful time for any sort of healing and meditation, and that goes for me. Like with me, I've been more so of the on the healing. I do got to focus more on meditating and be more disciplined with my meditative practices. Like that is like clear as day what I hear the universe screaming at me. Like you gotta develop a schedule around this meditation. This meditation is real serious. So that's just for me. Like I honestly want to manifest a better meditation schedule, like and more energy because, like I said, June the summers of is harder on my energy, believe it or not, than the winters and the spring and the fall. I don't know what that's about. Like some people, they get it popping in the summer, but for June, July, and August, they've always been you know, rougher months for me. You think, oh, it's the summer, it's the sun is out, have fun, but I have easier time, believe it or not, in the winter. But I assume that could be because I was born in January. I don't know. But nonetheless, always I'm grateful. I'm grateful every summer that I deal with, because I'm telling you that the energy in the summer is hard on me. It really is. But it's also once again that challenge, that more of that push towards, hey, reflect on yourself and be better and be the change you want to see. That's what I take from it, and that's been helping me a lot better. And then on an extreme case, that's when this is a time I know in June, a lot of occultists. That's when these covens. I could feel that energy, and sometimes I like to tap into it or be looking into stuff. And unfortunately, for those of us that are really sensitive, we can sometimes feel that or even see it in it interdimensionally, and so it may be a dream or something where we can actually see what the hell people are doing around, and it's like, oh gosh. So I had to learn how to turn all that off, and also be able to assess my energy and discern my frequency and resonance from, say, something psychotronics, radionics, or just a neighbor or just someone that's around in a vicinity. It doesn't have to be something so deep, but a lot of psychotronics and radionics get done around this time. So protect yourself is what I'm saying. Protect your aura. Make sure you have a protective shield. Play your solfeggio frequencies. In addition to whatever your algorithm you're trying to create or whatever you're manifesting, you do want that protective barrier around you at this time, because certain energies allow for uh, people who want to get a get back, or want to di- I would say distort your algorithm. They do that around this time. They just do. And I'm not saying you need to be worried about it, or thinking about it, but just have your focusing on yourself prevents that, and being awareness that uh, that radionics is real and psychotronics is real, and that the way you protect yourself is constantly feeding the frequency that you want to be at, or that you want to see in yourself, uh, by what you watch, what you hear, what you look at, what you engage in, what you talk about, all those things, just commonsensical things that we pretty much already know. Yeah. So, yep. This 888 portal is something serious. And also, like, for those that may be like into esoteric gnosticism, uh, We know the ancient Egyptians deal with 888, but also this can be found in esoteric Christianity as well, more so Gnosticism. It's been around for thousands of years, and it's always been honored as a sacred time of literally activating. So say if you want to activate some light codes, I know some people they may have some Atlantean light code, or they may feel that Lemurian light code. They This is heavy around this time as well. So if you have any sort of activations that you want to do, this has always 888 has always been a time to activate energy. Now, how you do that, there's a variety of ways to do that. And it depends on the light codes. I don't want to give out too much information on here and then have people going getting involved in something where they can't handle in terms of giving out certain information. But if you have, say, light codes of certain stargates or certain galactic families, this is also a time to connect with them, whether that be the Lemurians, whether that be the Atlanteans, whether that be Pleiadians, Arcturians, Andromedians, Draco, Orion. A lot of Dracos come from Sirius and Orion, believe it or not. That's why uh, Orion and Sirius is so big on planet Earth because, to be frank, yeah, a lot of even some of you humans that think you're human, a lot of you may possibly come from those constellations. So if you feel that, then you want to, with that ancestry, knowing that 8 is associated with Saturn and associated with that ancestral karmic energy, yeah, that may be something you want to activate. As far as um, like consciously, like what are the actions you need to take to accomplish the things you want to accomplish? How do you how do you harness that energetic impulse, like we talked about, that analogy of the escalator going up, where you kind of, if you can chill, you stand there and let that energy pull you up to the destination. Or some people want it faster, they'll walk. You guys know what I'm talking about. You see them walking up the escalator, even though the escalator going up, because they want to get up the stairs faster. That is an energetic impulse. And so that is what the 888 Lion Gates portal represents, and this is what people historically have known. And so um, some of you may come from that Orion constellation, that Sirius A, Sirius B, Sirius C. Some of you, and again, it's not just me, like, just conjecture. Like, there are people, tribes, uncontacted tribes, uh, as well as tribes that have written history and oral histories that talk about how they come from the Orion and Sirius belt. Many tribes, and not even, I want to, maybe tribe is not the right word, but many groups of people, whether that be in Asia, it's heavy in Africa. We know about the Dogon people, the Dogon tribe from Mali. They have tons of history talking about how they know for a fact they came from Sirius, and there's tribes in Ghana that talk like that. There are tribes in America, North America, that say that they came from Orion, they came from Sirius. A lot of the Americans, there's a lot of tribes in America that talk about more so Pleiades, which is also another constellation. But this is real stuff. Like, how could you have tribes that are thousands and thousands of years old all over the world, document their history as saying they come from these constellations, they come from the cosmos, they come from Sirius, they come from, this is where they saying their creation stories come from. They didn't say nothing about no monkey, no ant, no DNA, and nothing. They literally, in their creation stories. And so I honor that. I honor the folklore and the oral histories, of whatever tribe people come from. But particularly when they say this is where our creation stories start. The Nay people, they have a creation story. It's so many people that I actually have in one of my books, I was listing, like, all of the different cultures around the world that say that they come from these different star systems, so particularly Sirius and Orion. It was very important because I'm like, these cultures don't, some of them don't even come into contact with one another, but they know about these constellations, the Sirius and Orion belt. They know about it, they talk about it, and they say that's where they come from. And there's a lot of melanated people saying that. We're talking about maybe not today because of the brainwashing and everyone, pretty much going with, Darwinism or different sorts of evolutionary theories. but as far as their creation stories. But uh, I know for a fact, and it's well documented, that there are cultures all over the world that historically, as far as their oral history and even written, whether that even some that are not even uh, prominent today, but we do have some that are in existence today, like the Dogon people. But say like the Sumerians and the Babylonians and the Phoenicians and the Akkadians. I mean, their whole story talks about this Orion and Sirius at some point, as well as the Cometians or the Egyptians. We all know about that, and so I think that this 888 portal, on top of just, Sirius aligning with our sun and the Orion's belt in the zodiac of Leo, and, it is this 888 energy that's so powerful. When we're talking about like soul embodiment and life blessings, elevated spiritual wisdom, the nurturing growth, like it's all of that is a part of today. It was a part of this period, July 28th to August 12th. Some people said July 25th, but that is something that I appreciate about this time. I have to say, I went outside and sat in the sun and earlier, like real early in the morning, and just chilled. I was trying to see if I felt. I don't know. Like I felt more on that solar eclipse. That solar eclipse was something else, boy. That solar eclipse, I was like zooted and booted. I was like, whoa! I felt like I was floating in outer space. I didn't really feel all that with the Lion Gate, but I have to say, Lion Gate's portals hit me much past the August 8th. I know people say that it ends the 12th, but it seemed like for me that shit don't get activated until like late August. Um, and so you guys be careful because not everybody they give us these dates. Oh, July 28th to August 12th. Your shit. I mean, you may be feeling this alignment. You may be feeling it, say, since July 12th or something, or July 15th, or you may really hit you. Say August 22 or August 25th or something. That's how it worked for me. That's what I've always felt anytime this 888 portal hit, and it does create um, the possibility of entering an alternative reality. And so you want to be careful of that as far as entering an alternative parallel universe, because that's a real thing too. That is a real thing, and I didn't know that was real. But yes, entering into a parallel universe where your whole world is just like what. Yeah, that's real. And so, when we, especially when we talk about like these alignments for those who are that know how to do biogeometry within their own house and open these portals. People literally open these portals, or a gateway rather. I won't say a portal, but they'll channel that energy from that energetic impulse from that 888 Lion Gate portal, and create a gateway in a damn backyard. Like, so, seriously. And this is an example of that right here with this alignment. And all you need is a simple dolmen. If you have an underground water crossing and you use a pendulum to find one, or even if you know where a mound is at or something, I mean, people can do some heavy energetic shit just on their own. That doesn't have to be on the level of a Giza pyramid, but you guys know what I mean. And so I think I covered everything I wanted to cover with the 888. Yep. Last thing, because this is important to me, that Leo energy and this 888 energy is really good for ascension, not just yes, DNA activation is good at this time um, and whatnot, but any sort of ascension that you were trying to do, if you wanted to consciously get into a higher consciousness, or if you have like a soul mission, a soul project that you're working on that has to deal with helping others ascend or your ascension yourself, this is also a good time for that as well. For anyone that is a like a light worker, or even if you're not a light worker, but someone that is assisting humanity in higher consciousness in general, just through their actions and just or the way they teach, or the services that they provide. This is also an energetic impulse to propel those ascension codes. And so, the manner in which you activate those light codes of ascension and mastery would be up to you. Or, you know, if someone was looking like, well, how would I activate? Just on a baby level, I just want to give. I'm not trying to teach kindergarten or anything, but I would say just solfeggio frequencies. Um, that's a start. Like for those that was like, well, how do I do any sort of activation? I would say a solfeggio, just a good start is a good solfeggio frequency. That's for beginners. If you're, you listen to a 528 and a 432 simultaneously, maybe with the 888. And that is the start process of that solfeggio frequency, and maybe like a good meditation if you know how to meditate. If you don't know how to meditate, you can also just sit outside, you know, grounded with solfeggio frequency, or not. And another simple step for some sort of activation for beginners would be a Orgone pyramid. Orgone. Uh, Actually, I'll probably Google because I actually like Orgone pyramids. Orgone pyramid. Orgone energy is real. That this stuff. I think the person that started to work on this, they killed them. They always kill anybody that comes up with like alternative healings and shit like that, and how they circumnavigating any sort of for-profit systems. That's just what they do. So I do believe the person, oh man, what was his name that came up with the Orgone, not the Orgone pyramid, but he had an actual machine where he was. I don't want to talk too deep about that on YouTube, but it was an Orgone therapy. It was like this was like something where it was like an actual doctor. Was it William Rake, the Orgone energy accumulator? Yeah, yeah. And this is just for informational purposes and education purposes. I'm not trying to promote it because I do know, like I'm telling you, they go hard at people that talk about this type of stuff. But yeah, he came up with. They had actually had did clinical research and all this stuff. Oregon accumulator, and that's as deep as I'll go because I did. I did a video a couple of weeks ago where I was talking so heavy, and man, they just took that shit down and made me take that reprogramming class. What's that class where you gotta? It's like a class where you answer some questions and shit about YouTube's, and then I was like, wow, I must have been going too hard, too deep on that. So I don't want to go so deep, but yeah, the person that came up with this got knocked off. But you don't have to do all. I'm not saying create an energy, Oregon energy accumulator. I'm not going that far. I'm just saying a simple pyramid that you get on. That you can get online, and it's already pre-made with the copper inside. With you see right here, like that. You see that? There's an oral crystal. You have is this scalar energy? It's an EMF buster, organite pyramid. Um, you got natural apatite, natural pigments, shredded copper, all that type shit. Yeah, these things are cool, man, and they're pretty to look at, if nothing else. No, but they actually do work. Um, and so you can make these yourself too if you want a cool DIY project that's cool with the kids, cool with the family, and spend some time with the family. You can actually make these yourself. They have these kits that you can buy, or you can just buy it as is. But look, they have amethyst, gold, foil, copper, natural resin, emerald, and these all channel a certain sort of energy. So if you wanted to get into just beginner's level of activation, this would be something of interest, perhaps. And if you're advanced, you're probably doing some more other stuff at this level. I mean, they got some that these is just the ones you could put in a place of your hand. But let's see if they got see they got the kit. They got some that's for EMF protection. Uh, I'm thinking of like the real big ones. Like they got the huge ones, like huge. Like this is nothing. Like they got some of these. I won't even get into all that, but there's certain dimensions. I'll just say this where this shit be floating out in the sky, and it be big. Like the Atlantean dimension, they got these all over the place, and they just they float, and they generate electricity. They provide the electricity in a safe manner. It's free energy, so that and that you're using electro nanomagnetic levitation to obviously propel to create, as well as get them up in the sky, like how Giza pyramids are still on the ground. Like they have certain dimensions, and again, I'm not going to get too deep into all of this, and I ain't trying to have no motherfuckers come after me, but they'll have it where it's up in that same Giza pyramid would just be floating, um like in the sky, generating certain energies, and they do use different resins and materials, and so that's just some high level shit. And humanity will one day get there, but right now, this is where we're at. It's still it's nothing wrong with this. It's nothing wrong with this. But I just want humanity to know that there are dimensions where they got some big time shit. Like these things be big as hell, just like the Giza pyramids, and they be up in the sky, they be lighting up and all types of shit, just like how this be doing. And so this is an Oregon energy generator. And this is stuff. This is technology that Moses knew about. This is Magi, Chaldean Magi, esoteric sciences on a bigger scale. This is not called Oregon generator, but for those that may be looking for like more of a scriptural uh, definition of where this stuff can be found. It's in the books too. It's in the Bible. It's just not listed as Oregon generator, but it is the same energy that Moses had to work with in terms of that staff, like when we talked about here. I'll go back here. Staffs and scepters being used to do energy direction. That is a real science. Like when they talk about somebody putting a staff in water and it go like that is I know people may think that's not real. Yeah, it's very real. And you see it right here. The ancient Egyptians had very advanced geometrical measurement devices in the form of scepters, staffs, and pendulums to direct energy qualities. And it wasn't just the Egyptians that had that. See, there is some convergence with some of the Draco. I won't use the term Draco yet, but in terms of the Hebrew bloodlines, there is some convergence in some of the ancient technology. It is, and staffs are one of them. The rod and the staff is certainly one of them, as well as biogeometry as a science itself. It may have. I'm not saying where it comes from. I don't know. I don't know if the Egyptians created it, or if the West Africans, or if the Hebrews, or if the Americans. I can't say. Yeah, I'm not here to speak on that, but I do know that these measurement devices, in terms of scepters and staffs, and say like the technology that Moses was using, or the technology that even say Arjuna, or some of the stuff in the Mahabharata or the Rig Veda, or whatever, that there's convergence here, obviously, and some of it is even more advanced even what we can understand, or even what we have access to. Again, different dimensions. They're way beyond just even our Giza pyramids, or even just our argon generators. They just are. They have stuff that is on the level of the Giza pyramids and the Sphinx, but they got their shit floating. Some of it is obviously on landmass, but it is also something that can be seen in the sky, that rotates, that generates electricity and free energy for millions of miles apart. This is what Tesla was trying to get into, and free energy and all that stuff. And he became a targeted individual and sabotaged by J.P. Morgan, the banks, greatly sabotaged his whole life due to being concerned with more so of the awareness of energy, and the awareness of how to provide those energy services on a grand scale for humanity in a way that's beneficial. And that's not how these people, that the Dracos on this planet, they everything is profit to them, and transactions and markets, profit, money. And so that was not going to work, the thing that Tesla was trying to do. Yep. But yes, 888 portal. I don't want to belabor my point any further. That's where we're at. And so again, have happy accelerated ascension, happy divine light, happy divine love, whatever you're into. I hope you guys have a great time manifesting, great time reflecting, great time growing, transmitting high vibrations, whatever you want to do, activating your DNA, or just making love, or just not doing nothing. There's some people that's like, look, it's been 888 portal for thousands of years. I ain't do shit on 888 before. I ain't about to do shit now. It's just a regular Thursday. I'm about to go chill, kick my feet up, and go to happy hour or some shit. Do you? You know, it's all good. It's all good in the hood. Okay. And so love you guys. I'm gonna talk to you later. Let me make sure that my sound is good. I don't see no comments. So I'll be back on here, and you guys take it easy. Love you. Bye.